Hi, I'm Bridget. I am a laser specialist at North Raleigh, and I've been with Synergy for 17 years.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and I'm also a laser specialist at Synergy in North Raleigh, and I have been with Synergy for 6 years.
Thank you for joining our session today. We are going to discuss laser and chemical peels to help with pigmentation issues.
Okay, so what is pigmentation? Pigmentation is something that occurs in the skin naturally. We all have melanin in our skin, so pigment can sometimes lead to excessive melanin in the skin, which we can see as melasma, sunspots, even like post-acne scarring, stuff like that. So a lot of it can be hormonal changes. Sometimes women around pregnancy, postpartum will develop the pregnancy mask, which is a part of pigmentation. It's usually around the lip, around the eyes. And then as we get older, old sunburns will turn up as sun damage in the shape of like sunspots.
It is more difficult as we age to correct those hyperpigmentation spots. They can lie deeper on the skin or more superficially, which is how we choose which device to correct pigment and whether to combine it with the chemical peel or go the chemical peel route. Skin type, your base fits type also makes a difference when we're choosing how to correct the pigmentation. One of my favorite devices to correct pigmentation is our Cyton BBL. Broadband light has been approved by the FDA for 30 years. So BBL is broadband light. We use the Cyton device here. It is by far the gold standard. There are 2 cooling bulbs and much more comfortable for the patient than it was 30 years ago when IPL first came out. Usually we recommend a series of 3 done 4 to 6 weeks apart. It is something that needs to be maintained annually to keep the pigmentation at bay. There's some slight crusting, darker brown coming up. The recovery is very, very easy. Slight discomfort. Your provider can walk you through pain management techniques with it, and it's well tolerated by most people.
I know for myself, I struggled with a little bit of like post-inflammatory acne scarring when I first started working here. So it's usually like hormonal around my chin, a little bit of redness, and BBL is what absolutely changed my skin. I went completely back to one skin tone. All those marks went away. So I'm very grateful for that. Can you explain to me a little bit about how BBL works?
BBL addresses 2 types of issues in the skin. It's drawn to hemoglobin or to melanin. The hemoglobin is associated with the 560 filter drawing for reds, which is what would have helped to break down that pooling underneath the skin, and then your body naturally absorbs it. That's why it's very effective with rosacea, broken capillaries, underlying redness, diffuse reds. It also addresses the melanin in the skin that pools in the melanocytes, which will help break up superficial sun damage in the skin. It also, as a bonus, helps with the RNA suppression for aging and slows down the aging process as well with very little to no downtime.
Another great indicator for BBL treatments would be like broken capillaries. I know after the sun, I not only get pigmentation, but my capillaries get worse. So I'm sure you have some like tips and tricks on using BBL to treat that.
Especially in the South where it's hot all the time. And for you ladies who love hot yoga, the flushing, broken capillaries in the cheek, around the nose, the downtime is very manageable. You can be treated, wear makeup later that day. Also slight swelling, possibly with reds, but not very much. So it's a great intro laser to actually see really great clinical change in the skin without downtime.
And my favorite thing with BBL is sometimes chemical peels aren't going to get like the deep rooted pigment. So I do feel like BBL goes deeper than a chemical peel. Would you agree on that?
I definitely agree on that. It also, based on settings of energy and joules, we can decide how deep into the skin safely we can penetrate those targets and get the level of correction in the moment, where with chemical peels, you're applying them. They are formulated to go a certain depth, but you don't have the same control over getting to the target that you do with laser. It's much more precise.
So I feel like there's benefits to both. It's just kind of curating it for you, the patient. So that's why coming in and doing the Visia analysis, which is really cool. If you haven't had one, it shows the redness in the skin, the capillaries, your sun damage, your brown spots. even goes as far to show like the oil in your skin. So if you start off with that, Bridget and I will better assist you to say, let's start with a chemical peel, or let's kind of jump right into a broadband laser treatment.
At that point with the Visi, we can also talk about other options of combining BBL,
Absolutely.
which is my favorite. I love to stack
Yeah.
all the things, BBL, Moxie, Halo, to give you the best result. So we can target multiple things at one time based on your Visia consult. BBL for post, your first treatment is usually more dramatic as far as recovery. You'll have browning, and it will flake off like coffee grounds over
My favorite part.
Yeah, it's very, very satisfying.
Don't pick at it, but it's
Do
fun.
not pick or scratch. Keep the skin moist. Gentle cleanser, gentle moisturizer. You can wear makeup the day of. As for reds, when we're treating broken capillaries, you will need to stay out of heat, exercise, sauna, hot yoga for 48 hours post so that those vessels do not open back up. What we're doing is collapsing those vessels, making them very sticky, and then your body absorbs the hemoglobin pooled in those vessels. So it's super important to get the results that you want, not to exercise and not to pick or scratch.
Who is an ideal candidate to receive BBL?
So when you have your consultation with our Visia, it will tell us if we're looking to correct pigment or reds in the skin. If you have been out of the sun for 4 weeks and you're not using self-tanner, also you must be FITS type 1 through 4, which excludes your darker skin tones for the safety of the patient. The device cannot tell the difference between the actual pigment in the skin that we don't want and the pigment that lives there to keep skin healthy and glowy. So we have to be very careful who is the correct candidate. But we also have some options for our darker FITS types or for clients with melasma, if you can tell folks listening what that sounds like.
Absolutely. So we have a variety of chemical peels that we use on all skin tones and types. Melasma safe. Biggest thing with that is we're not putting heat into the skin. We're not using a laser. We're using acids, basically, to rapidly exfoliate the skin and lighten pigmentation. So a lot of our chemical peels are compounded with ingredients like your retinoids, but also really high doses of like alpha-arbutin, which is kind of a gold standard for lightening pigmentation on the skin. I always combine those with either a topical version as well to use daily, nightly. Then you have your prescription strengths like hydroquinone and stuff like that has been around forever. But the way chemical works that keep it safe is we're not putting the heat in the skin. So you'll have, your downtime of flaking and that new skin shedding coming up for about a week or so. And when that happens, the old skin goes away, your new skin shows. And depending on where that pigment is in the skin, you might have really good success with just even one treatment, or sometimes we'll do a series of 3. Our Melanage Mini series is very popular. We do it every 6 to 12 weeks, and usually by your 3rd one, you're good to go. Maybe you come in once yearly or so for a maintenance treatment, but that keeps the pigment away and gone for good.
That option is really great also for patients that are afraid of laser or nervous with dipping your toe in. They provide really strong clinical results with a different modality.
A nice thing about chemical peels as well is when you think of chemical peel, I used to always think, oh, it's going to burn, it's going to feel like horribly spicy, and that's not the case. So a lot of them are now formulated to be like a slow release. So our Melanage peels do not burn at all. While you're peeling, you could be a little bit red and tender in areas, but most people say it is a pain-free treatment, which is a plus. So with the chemical peels, I kind of give you a step-by-step piece of paper of how to use your post-care. The nice thing about some chemical peels that we offer here is it does come with your post-care. So it comes with your gentle cleanser, your moisturizer, an anti-itch balm, and then a brightening cream. So we kind of go through that. Usually it's about 7 days until you're done shedding, but still you'll still have some dryness in the skin, a little bit of redness, stuff like that. So results are actually pretty quick. A lot of clients see full results within a month. Some people it takes a little bit longer since it does come with that brightening cream. Some people it takes 8 weeks. Some people it takes a week. It depends on where the pigment is in the skin.
One thing we did forget to mention that's very exciting, with BBL, you can treat all the body parts. Hands, legs, arms, face, chest.
Buttocks.
Yes, Cheryl will treat your buttocks if you
need from the tanning bed days.
From tanning bed, you're right. Or Naked Beach if you're from Europe.
Yeah.
So it's safe for lots of body parts. because as we age, and myself included, I was on the beach getting the sunburns in my 20s, and you notice that aging process with those brown spots, especially when you're fair. But it is safe for treating the body as well.
A lot of times we actually, if you have melasma on your face, we can do your chemical peel on your face, same day, BBL, your neck and chest. Usually melasma isn't on your chest, so it's safe to do that. Would you agree?
Yes, totally agree. It's a great way to maximize your time.
Yeah.
There's also a condition on the neck that's called pectoderma, and this is actually very common. A lot of tennis players notice it where they're wearing their hair with a baseball cap. Men get it, and it is a line of red and brown that runs underneath the ear here. It looks very similar to melasma, but it doesn't fall under that category and can safely be treated with BBL.
And that's why a baseball cap is not enough.
Not enough.
Get you the wide brim.
It's all
It'll
about
protect
the wide
you.
brim.
Yeah.
And a physical SPF.
Physical SPF, your zinc, your titanium dioxide. Don't neglect the neck is my saying of 2025. Thank y'all for joining our session. We hope we have answered all your questions about pigmentation, broadband light, chemical peels. Don't forget to come in and see us for a full face assessment if you're interested in receiving a treatment.
We look forward to seeing you soon.